As we all know, Respawn recently removed tap strafe from Apex after all that craziness that's been going on with tap strafing using Steam config. Let's talk about how did they do that. Steam config still works as usual, and you can still change keybinds and turbo buttons. So what happened? How did Respawn remove tap strafe from Apex for controller player, and why tap strafe won't work even if the Steam config still working? So the first thing I did was to find out why I can't tap strafe on controller. Although tap strafe works fine on mouse and keyboard, what I found out that whenever you press any controller input in the game, Apex will block lurch strafe for you for 0.5 a sec. It is the time you need for tap strafe to work. After 4 days, I managed to find a workaround to trick the game to think you are using mouse and keyboard. Let's start with Steam config. If you already have tap strafe config in Steam, you need to change only some bindings. If you don't have it, you can search Steam community. There is over 100 configs shared by players. Let's start. First thing, you need to go to joysticks. Here you can see that I'm using joystick mouse instead of regular joystick. It will make your right stick to act like a mouse. Go to option, change the sensitivity for the joystick to your sense. Make sure to change stick response curve to linear for the perfect one-on-one. You can change the dead zone range and shape. Change right-click to your mel bind and add a subcommand to your ping bind. Make a mode shift for the right joystick and use left trigger to activate. Bind right-click to Z or whatever you use to use your ultimate, so whenever you need to use your ultimate, you need to hold left trigger then press right. And whenever you click right-click without holding left trigger, it will use wheel ping and mel at the same time. Make sure that you change the right stick mode. Shift sends also as we did above. Next, go to left joystick and change the joystick to directional pad. And bind WASD for the movement. Bind left click to change zoom option for scopes. You need to use shift to run in Apex bind. For the left stick mode shift, I use right bumper to activate. Now you press right bumper to tap strafe mid-air. After you did all that, go to buttons. You need to make a mode shift for your buttons to bind and B to space to jump and C to slide. And with the buttons mode shift, we will keep the regular binds and activate it with left click. So because we are using space and C instead of regular bind, we can't interact with loot in death boxes. So whenever you need to use a instead of space to pick up, you need to hold left stick click. Now let's see what happens in game. Now as you can see, whenever I move, my keybind works as mouse and keyboard, and whenever I use and bind from the controller, the game will recognize that and change the input. So now you can move as mouse and keyboard players. But whenever you shoot or aim, it will convert to controller for aim assist. As you can see, I can tap strafe like I used to before the removing of tap strafe. Hope this tutorial will help you close the gap. Enjoy tap strafing again.